Hey, y'all, we're back with another episode of It's Chalked Up. And whenever people know that I teach Spanish, the first thing they ask me is, how did you get into teaching Spanish? How did you get into Spanish? And I always reference my Mexican friend from middle school. Right, always. Well, today, y'all, I have my Mexican friend from middle school. Juana is here, y'all. And I don't even think that you realize. Well, first of all, I haven't seen Juana in 20 years almost, like since middle school. And baby, I know we look good, but we are far removed from middle school. Like, but Juana, you look the exact same. Let's just say that. But y'all, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And Juana, let me say this. I don't even think that you know that meeting you and like getting to know your family and being in your wall's home, it changed my life. Like, I literally am now, this is my 11th year teaching Spanish because of the impact that you and your family had on me. Oh my God. And I've never told you that. I don't think you knew that. Like I said, I haven't seen one in 20 years. But like who I am today, who people know me as today, is because of the influence that y'all had.
I don't think I can handle this.
Oh my life. Like seriously, when I was thinking about like, what am I going to talk about with Juana? I was getting so emotional because I'm like, wow, like in that moment, I didn't realize how big of a thing it was. But I mean, just surface level, me being a Black girl coming, like, let me tell y'all how, first of all, how do me and Juana even know each other, right? Let's get into that. So,
it's gonna be good.
We know each other. So our church, I went to church, we had a church in Buckhead, and they were doing like outreach to the community, right? To come in and do vacation Bible schools and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so we went to Juana's neighborhood right there on Roswell Road. And originally it was her older sister, Ophelia, that I was closer with. So, cause she would come and we were about the same age and I was excited, you know, I've always been friendly. And so, but then I don't remember how I transitioned from being Ophelia's friend to Juana's friend. We were closer in age. So I think that's kind of how it happened. And yeah, so they would just come to church on Saturdays and hang out. And then I would eventually like come with us after church. And so then we would hang out after church. And then eventually we would spend the night over each other's homes. And I mean, like every weekend, Juana and I was together. Juana would come to school events with me.
Yes, I went to school with you one day.
You went to school with me. Like, that's how, yes.
Close we were.
It was crazy. But it's also crazy to think that we were from so completely different worlds. And we just walked right into each other's world without thinking twice about it. Like, I was staying the weekend over her home with her whole family, her parents who didn't speak much English. The whole neighborhood was Hispanic. Like, and I'm just walking through like, yeah, I'm here with my friend Juana. Like, okay, I don't know what nobody's saying around me. It didn't matter. And so that was just, it was so impactful. So I was in those spaces listening to people around. And I used to say, like, teach me something, right? I never was thinking about being bilingual. And I'm like, I want to know something. But I was coming over there every weekend. So I was picking up stuff, whether it was being taught or not. When your mom was calling from downstairs, I was understanding eventually, like what was going on. But just my world at that age being opened to just a whole different culture and community and way of life was so impactful. I really think that it allowed me to grow up without the same ignorances and the same stereotypes that other people around me probably had, because I was seeing the culture and the lifestyle and the families and right there. Nobody had to tell me it wasn't TV. Yeah. Like, I was in the house. Like, I was at the fiestas. I was at La Carne Asada. Oh, real quick. Okay, so recently, tell me if this is a thing. Recently, I was notified that I've been invited to La Carne Asada. Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't know that was a thing. So, folks, La Carne Asada is the equivalent of being invited to the cookout.
Cookout, yep. I was going to
say. There we go, because Juana been at the cookout. She's been at the cookout. So, but is that just a Mexican thing? The Carne Asada? Okay, and why is it called that?
Because there's going to be tacos and carne asada.
I love it. That's the cookout because you know we're going to cook out. I love that. So yes, I've been invited. Juana been at the cookout. So I want to know, like, what was it like for you coming into my world? Because you were coming to my all Black school functions and spent the day, like, y'all, this is how crazy schools used. She came and spent the day with me at my school. Like, went to classes and why.
I can't believe they let me.
I know.
Like, they just let this Mexican girl go to your school
literally
all day.
So, what was that like?
Well, first of all, I'm flattered. Thank you. This is totally unexpected. And I apologize we kept putting this off. No. We have kids now, you know.
Girl.
We're on a schedule.
Girl, yes. I'm just happy you made the time.
No, thank you. I'm flattered. And, oh my gosh, going back to those childhood memories, amazing. What was it like? being introduced to, your world, your culture, everything, something completely different than what I was used to. My family, as you know, we're loud, we're a lot, we're just a whole other, and we're also close. But yeah, just getting to know you, your family. Y'all were also really close. You have two. Well, back then you had two sisters.
Back then I had two sisters. Yeah.
I don't know, like just.
Were there some like things that maybe preconceptions you had about just Black culture or Black family that either changed or reinforced when you were around us?
Well, the thing is, I guess my ignorance to just knowing my culture and what I knew at school, versus getting to know you directly, like the culture directly through you, not what I know of school. Because in school it's different.
Correct.
Especially going to public school. My school was very diverse. So you see one side of it, but no, once I got close to your family, I saw the other side of it, and I'm like, well, y'all are just like us. Y'all are close to the family, close to everyone around you. I don't know. I mean, all those times we spent together, like, we're not different.
No. And I think that's why it was so easy for us to just kind of walk into each other's world, is because it was like, oh, this is familiar. Yeah. It just, maybe it looks different, but it's the same feeling.
Exactly, yes. I'm like, well, I mean, we might be different skin colors.
For sure.
But we clicked so well. We got along so well. Your family, I loved your family. Like, I don't want to bring this up, but your dad, I didn't even know about this. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Thank you.
I loved him. Your mom, like, I was like, y'all are just like us. Like, I love y'all.
Yes.
When we had our sleepovers, you do some stuff, you wrap your hair.
Right. Like, what are you doing? And y'all don't know, like, Juana's hair was the talk of my school for like a month, because when we were in middle school, Juana's hair was below her behind. And y'all, she used to just, I'm like, how are we going to manage all that? She would take her hand and she would just like this and then whip it up into a ball. And it's like, she's like, okay. I'm like, wait.
And the funny thing is, I didn't like my hair because my mom would not let me cut it. Again, it's a culture thing. You can't cut your hair until you're 15. You can't. So I hated my hair, and you loved it.
I loved it. We were like, everybody at my school was like, oh my gosh, ask her to pull her hair out. No, nobody's doing that. But again, it's just a completely different like mindset. I think that you coming around even helped the people around, like my friends, really appreciate like, oh, we are so similar. Because I don't think that at that time, we're in middle school, 6th, 7th grade, that they had any interaction with someone who was not Black. Our school was completely Black. Our church was completely Black. And that was kind of our world. So shout out to both of our parents for trusting.
Yes.
Because I grew up in a household where I wasn't just going to anybody's house.
I was not spending nights
at all.
I'm surprised, even till this day, I'm like, I'm surprised my mom let me spend the night, go to school, go to your church. Like, she trusted your family. And our families didn't even
speak the same language. No. No.
It was us. Like, we were doing everything. And yeah, I'm still...
Baby, I had Juana at Magic Johnson Theaters. Y'all don't see, if you from Atlanta, y'all, we went to Cascade. Let me tell you, I had Juana outside, okay? We was outside. We was at Lenox walking through. Yes. I had Juana on Martyr, okay? We was out here. And so what I do now and what's so important for me now, like, yes, I teach Spanish and all that, but that wasn't even like the highlight of being around you all. Like, I can't remember learning much Spanish from you all, but it really just ignited and sparked in me like, okay, other people need to know, like, we can all come together and do this. Like, there's it doesn't need to be a us versus them type of situation. And then just like other things that I just didn't know about. It was just cool to watch and to be there and to see another lifestyle. And so shout out to our parents, like I said, for trusting it to happen. And I think what it also did for them was it showed them another side of things, because now your family, they may not have interacted with my parents, but they did see a mom and a dad who cared. They did see people who were invested in their kids. They saw my dad coming to pick me up. They saw an involved Black father, which is not the narrative that a lot of people get. And then on my end, I saw a family where everybody in the house was wanting something for themselves. You get messages of, oh, they want to do this or that. No, like everybody had their own thing going on, but everybody was coming home to like, this is the family. We're doing this together. Okay, I'm worried. Let me call this person. I'm worried about this, and this. Nobody was doing their own thing without somebody in the household knowing what was going on.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that we were able to bridge that gap for each other. And I think that that's probably impacted the way we are as mothers now, like what we are exposing to our daughters, right? I think it's so important that we both had that experience, but even now, like, how am I carrying on that legacy so that Willow is culturally sensitive and aware and interested in other people? And so what things do you think that you do as a mom now that was influenced by like the way you were raised in general?
Well, first of all, I don't use la chancla. I do not. I have not carried that
okay,
on
for those
yet.
of us who are like, what? That's the equivalent of the switch, right? And in the Mexican household, you're going to get la chancla, which is like the flip-flop.
Flip-flop.
Accurate, right? We got the switch or the extension cord, la chancla. Okay, so you don't use la chancla.
I don't use la chancla, but, you know, the older I get, the more I realize I turn into my parents, into my mom. And I tell my kids, when you have your own kids, you can do whatever you want, but not in my household. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my mom. My mom and me's coming out. But no, we try, most important for our family, and this is guaranteed you for most of the Hispanic culture, we're all really close. So I love for my kids to see how close I am with my sisters, and then we all have kids. We all have kids, and they're all between the same age range.
Nice.
So our get-togethers turn into this giant
family
party
reunion all the time.
And my kids are always like, another party? And we're like, no, it's not a party. It's a get-together, a family get-together, because it's so many of us. So just that unity in the family, and also, you know, exposing them to different cultures as well, because we live in a very diverse city. And even now, my kids, they're not big in Spanish. And I'm like, well, you don't realize that the older you get, Spanish.
So at home, your kids, they speak English.
They speak English.
No Spanish or a little.
The older one, she understands Spanish more than she speaks it.
Okay.
The little one, she's,
wow.
which is bad. It's very bad.
But like super typical.
Yeah.
Right? Because at this
with
point,
my
your kid will be, what, third generation, right?
Yeah. With my generation, I feel like it's turning into that, which is bad. And I try to tell them, like, hey, you know, there's other people that don't speak Spanish that are learning Spanish. Like, look at you. You're the perfect example. Or even in their school, they're teaching them Spanish. And I'm like, you have this for free at home. Like, you can learn it.
So do you speak to them in Spanish at home?
No.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
I'm guilty too. Everybody's like, is Willow gonna be bilingual? And I'm like, yes, of course, period. And then I'm like, okay, wait.
It's harder than you think.
Yes, it is.
I do try, and I do. And at my mom's house, it's, hey, in my house, it's Spanish. If you need something, figure out how to tell me, point, but you got to tell me in Spanish. So my mom does help me out a lot in that part where she makes them accountable.
I love that. So what was it like growing up in Atlanta, which is not a super Spanish-friendly city, at least not when we were growing up?
No.
What was it like with your parents not having strong English skills, like navigating school things and just in general? Like, what was that struggle like?
So it was pretty bad,
but you
just
had your
because
older sisters. So
my older sisters were, but even then, like you said earlier, we were all doing our own thing. My older sisters were also working, you know, trying to keep this big family together. So it was hard because my parents did not speak English. My mom, till this day, she still doesn't drive. Crazy, I know, but to this day, she still
my mom
doesn't
shouldn't drive, so. Yeah.
Leave Miss Cheryl alone.
Get her off the road, seriously.
So it was hard because if I wanted to get involved in school activities, they weren't able to take me. I had to figure out how to get to the activity.
Did your school create like anything to help you with that? Like, I'm sure your school had a pretty good population of students who were also in a similar situation. So, like, was there any supports the school gave you to make that?
My elementary school, it is a great elementary school. It did not.
Okay.
My middle school, middle school gets a little more diverse. So I remember there was more Hispanics when I was already in middle school.
Okay.
So there was a little more involvement, but still not enough. Now you have now it's a whole other.
Yeah, it's we were better. Growing up. Still not. I don't feel the best environment. It's not, no. Depending on what neighborhood you're in, and the neighborhood is going to make a big difference.
But yeah, it was hard growing up. I couldn't do a lot of things because of the
language barrier.
The language barrier, and then my parents, they wouldn't know where to go because of the language. So we didn't do a lot of stuff because of that.
Okay. But do you feel like it held you back in any way, or you're like, I still was able to push through and figure out on my own? Like,
I feel like I missed out on a lot of things that I could have been involved in doing, some activities, fun. I do. And I don't blame them at all. Right. No. I did miss out a lot, but I was still able to, of all my sisters, I was the one that, I still figure out a way to try to get to play sports or try to do after school activities.
So what were some things that you would do to get through those barriers?
I would try to, I remember when I was in middle school, I did basketball, which I was horrible, but and I was short and I never cried. I know. So I would have to figure out a way to get a ride.
And get like the paperwork and that kind of stuff?
Yes. Okay. And like, it's funny you say paperwork. Yeah. Like my whole childhood, I grew up translating documents, taking my parents to like appointments and translating for them. So yeah, I would have to, going back to basketball, I would have to figure out how to get all of it done. Get all of it on my own.
In middle school.
In middle school.
Yeah.
So, and by middle school, I was already like an expert at translating or all that.
Probably helping some teachers with their documents. So now looking back and you saw that you had that struggle, and do you think that those experiences have shaped like how you handle challenges that you face now?
Yes, because I try to be a lot more empathetic of certain situations, because it's not anyone's fault, it all depends how you approach the situation.
For sure.
So I try to be more empathetic at certain stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it impacted me in a bad way.
Nice.
It you can go one way or another, and I feel like I was lucky enough or blessed enough to go the right way.
So I know that for a couple years you went to California.
I did.
And so, which is a much more Spanish-friendly place to be. So tell me about that. Like, what was the differences? What did you enjoy about California? What brought you back to Atlanta and all that?
This is a great topic. So after I graduated high school, I'm not sure if you knew, but I didn't have legal residence, or I didn't have citizenship.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because I think when I left and went to boarding school, we haven't talked.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Like after this, we need to
coordinate. We need to
catch up in years.
For sure.
Yeah, no. So I was born in Mexico.
Okay.
Raised in Atlanta.
Right.
My parents brought me here when I was like 3. So, all I know was Georgia. But, they brought me here illegally. So up until high school, I still didn't have citizenship. So here, back then, I couldn't go to college because they didn't offer, now you can find all kinds of assistance. Back in the day, they didn't offer that kind of assistance. And if I did want to go to school out here, I would have to pay international student fees, which is
crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
So I had a cousin that came here from California. He's like, well, in California you can go to school for much cheaper. And I was like, well, sure, why not? Here I can't go to school, and I'll just have to get like some job because I didn't have a social security. So he came at the perfect time. And when I was here in Georgia, my Spanish was always good, but it had a little accent. Like, you can tell I was raised in Atlanta. Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't think I would even pick up on the like Southern Spanish accent that you would have.
Yeah, no, I did. And of all my sisters, I was the one that, I guess because I grew up speaking more English. I started, preschool, kindergarten here. So my English was really good. But my Spanish was really good too, but I did have that accent. So then I moved to California to go to school out there. And oh my gosh, when I moved out there, it was like a whole other culture shock.
Wow,
like,
yeah.
It was like a whole other country. I felt like had never been to Mexico. I did once, but felt like I was back in Mexico because the part where I went was in Orange County.
Okay.
And it was where most of the Hispanics are.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, people here speak Spanish. Like, you go to the grocery store and the intercom, the signs, everything's in Spanish. Even like your Publix and Kroger out there, even they have Spanish workers, Hispanic workers, signs, everything. So I was like, whoa. Like, I feel like this is where my parents needed to
should have landed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they didn't, because it's not where I would want to raise my kids.
I see.
But I'm like, this is where they should have came first, and
baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I moved. It was like a year after high school, I think.
Okay. And so you got there, it was a culture shock, but you're like, I feel at home here. And so when you were done with college, you're like, I'm just going to come back to be with your family? Or was there something that you're like?
Well, I was there like 9 years.
Okay.
So I was there. Well, I just moved back to Georgia like 5 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Which feels like 2 years ago. I can't believe it's 5. So I went to school. Then I started getting involved in church, started meeting people. I met the girls out there, which, we got together. We separated. He's back in California. I'm here in Georgia. And I got distracted while I was here.
You were talking about how when you went to California, now I'm distracted.
Yeah.
Somebody help us.
It's just so much to catch up.
I know.
I'm like, I can't.
And that's my fault. We should have at least had like a
20 years
pre-coffee. Trying to catch up in 20 years and 20 minutes is crazy.
No, but California, I love California. Like, if I could afford it, I'd probably still live there.
So do you think that it's important for native Spanish speakers to be in a place like California? Or have you found a place in Atlanta that you can say, okay, this feels a little bit more like home. I feel more comfortable here. I wish I would have known about this when I was younger.
Well, back in the day, we had Buford Highway.
Right.
Which I think it has changed a lot, too. But it's still very diverse. So back in the day, we had Buford Highway, Flea Market. It has changed a lot now. Now, you have Plaza Fiesta.
Yes, I'm taking my students there next semester. They're so excited.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
You have great food.
Yes,
You
I'm
have
so
Plaza
excited.
Fiesta, and then you have all these other little places.
But
now.
Plaza Fiesta wasn't around back
I
growing
don't
up?
remember it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, we were limited
Yeah,
because of my
the
parents.
car,
They
yeah.
were driving. They didn't know of all these places.
True.
They just knew.
So I'm curious. I recently have learned a lot about the Latin American Association here on Buford Highway. And so I'm wondering, do you know if you and your family used any of their resources when you all were growing up? Because I know that they offer like classes. They offer like English, Spanish, computer skills, job skills. They offer like a food bank with authentic food from various countries. They offer clothes for like job interviews and like all these things. And I'm like, but do people know? Did you know about that?
No.
They've been there since, I think they said the 1980s.
No, I did not know.
People need to,
Wow.
y'all need to hire me. People need to know about y'all. Like, because when I was looking at all the things they offer, I'm like, this is amazing. All sorts of communities.
See, if I would have known, I'm sure if my parents would have been more informed or aware of certain spots like that, I probably wouldn't have to move to California to go to school or look for opportunities elsewhere. I'm sure somewhere here there was the help.
Yeah.
We just didn't know.
Didn't know.
Didn't know, It's
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's why these conversations are so important, right?
Yes.
Because there's somebody out there who's like, oh, shoot, somebody's going to benefit from this information.
Yes.
Somebody needs to know this right now. And not even just from the Latin American Association. There is so much help that is available for whatever your situation is, but you have to go out and find it. And I think that social media is making that way easier, right? Yes. We can scroll through and stumble upon some help we didn't even know we needed. So I love that I was able to tell you about that. Maybe there's somebody that can tell about it.
You know, I'm going to let people know.
Yes.
Not only my family, but people I meet know, because there's still families struggling, still families that don't speak English, that don't know of places here. You know, we have Univision. We've always had Univision, but they can only promote so much or put so much out there. But now with the power of social media, I think we can tell people about these places.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know this.
See? I'm trying to help people out here. So, okay. So, you know that I'm a teacher. And isn't it crazy that I'm a teacher? Like, would you have expected
me to be a teacher? You know, when I saw that, I was like, a Spanish teacher?
I know, right?
Like,
you didn't even think like, that's me, I did that. You didn't think like, wow.
I did not, but I was so proud. I'm like, she did. She's doing it.
Right? You have to show your parents, like, look, do you remember her?
I told them. My mom was so excited.
Really?
Yes.
And you know,
my whole family was. Yes.
So when we edit and produce this, I'm going to put some pictures up of us, because I have a picture of us at okay, let me give y'all some background.
Gosh.
Juana came to like my school dance, right? Mind you, I went to a 100% black school, not anybody, nowhere. Yes. Juana is the only person who does not look like us there, and she did not care. She was dressed up, ready to go. She was like, what do I wear? We'll get you together. So she came in her black dress and her heels, and she was ready to go. But let me just be honest, it wasn't a dance. I went to a Christian school, y'all. It was just a banquet. We just sat there and ate while people sang and talked. But, so that was a good baby step. She didn't have to she didn't have to jump right into the Tootsie Roll or nothing like that. Well, no, Tootsie Roll. I'm not Tootsie Roll age.
Remember, you took me skating in all these places.
Oh, yeah, we did. We did go to Cascade.
So that...
We went not only Cascade, we went to Cater Family Skate. Y'all, when I say I had one outside of Atlanta, I had one outside, okay? But not only that, she had me outside, y'all. I didn't even know I was at the Carne Asada. I didn't know what I was at. I was just like, ooh, we still outside. And they playing music, and it's 2 a.m, and they still going. This is wonderful. Yeah. We definitely had a time. Luckily, we were good girls. We weren't doing anything crazy or wild. Like, we were just enjoying each other. She was
the crazier one of us, though.
We're taking a turn here.
I'm not gonna put anyone
I was the adventurous one.
But I was the one like, are you sure?
For sure. I was, the line was right here, and I'm gonna put one toe on the line, and I'm gonna tell everybody to come on too. But we made it through, and look, we're free.
I think we turned out good.
We turned out good. It's work going good. So look, I am a teacher, so I have a quiz for you.
Oh no.
And we're filming this. This is not gonna air during Hispanic Heritage Month, but we're filming it in Hispanic Heritage Month. So my questions will be Hispanic Heritage related, but it's also gonna help us. So as an authentic Mexicana, right? Some of our questions, we're going to lend itself to see what are the real deal Holyfields, real deal Selenas in our lives. What do they feel about some things we got going on in Atlanta? So first thing I want to know is, what is your favorite Atlanta Mexican spot? Like authentic, where would you eat? Where would you tell somebody to go?
You know, it has always been, back in the day and even now, El Rey del Taco.
Okay, where is that?
Buford Highway.
Oh, of course. All right. So what do you get there?
Tacos, carne asada tacos.
There we go. Carne asada.
Tacos, al pastor.
El Rey.
El Rey.
All right, taco. That's where we're going next. El Rey. All right, boom.
They're authentic. You looking for authentic them.
Love it. Okay, we got that one down. We're going to go visit it. Next one. Favorite curse word in Spanish? Oh, wait. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Well, she doesn't know it in Spanish anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want her to say it. Repeat it later. Okay. She's a good girl.
Ready?
Okay, yes.
It's bad, though.
Okay. Tell us. We're going to come back to that one in a second, because I want you to tell us in English and Spanish. Okay. We're going to come back to that for the baby's sakes.
Yes.
Okay. What is the worst way that someone has said your name? So everybody, real quick, before she says her name is Juana, and it is spelled Juana. So real quick, I want y'all to say, well, y'all already know how to say her name, but if you just looked at that name, what would you think? Because I know y'all at home messing it up. And y'all better not be at home saying Juana. I know that y'all at home, and I know y'all said Juana. Okay, so what's the worst way people have messed up your name?
That's funny. Juana is the main one, of course. You know, when I go through drive-through and I tell them Juana or Juanita, they just, I don't even know what they write. I'm like,
they don't care. That
seriously?
Anita,
Janita, like, but Juana, you know, at school they didn't even
bother to say
bother.
It, right?
They
the teachers,
yeah,
that's a mess. I pride myself on saying people's name right. Like, I hate to mess up somebody's name. I really don't like
Juana, Jana, like.
That's a mess.
It's rare when they get it right.
Yes.
You think now maybe, you know, no.
And then you would think like, so that is actually something I teach in class. Like, let's say these names correctly because that you're going to use that often. Yes. Like, we're not saying Jose. Like, come on, y'all. This is going to be Jose. Or I try to use somebody that's famous that they know how to say this person's name already. See, we say his name this way. So why would you say Juana when you know the J is not going to give Jew? So, okay, y'all ain't gonna mess up Juana no more. And Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, whatever drive-thrus you, don't play with her. Y'all know she did not say Anita.
See?
Don't play with her.
This is exactly why I'm like, I'm okay with it. She's like, no.
This has been our dynamic forever.
This is us.
All the time. All right, next. Favorite vacation destination?
Hawaii.
Oh, wow. I've never been to Hawaii. How long were you? Well, we have so much to catch up on. That sounds amazing.
I went to Maui, and I was like, if I could imagine what paradise looked like, Maui is it. It was just so nice. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Cozumel. I'm going on a cruise next weekend.
Okay.
So we'll see how that is.
I doubt it's going to take Hawaii. Like, Hawaii, like, paradise is what I think of.
I went to Los Cabos, I think, last year or not too long ago. And so far, nothing has topped Hawaii, really? Maui, yeah.
I can imagine. How long were you in Hawaii?
A few days.
Okay.
Like 4 days.
Nice.
Oh, it's paradise to me.
See, now I'm keep adding to this list. Everybody I talk to keeps giving me new destinations. This is a mess. Okay, here we go. Now, this one is especially for me because I'm a tequila drinker.
Ooh.
What's your favorite tequila?
See, my sister just started getting into tequila.
Okay.
So
she's got you tasting all types of stuff.
Yeah, we're not big brand anymore. Now we're more like
give us the
local.
One.
And she's having a tequila tasting. You know what?
Yes, come. I want to come. When is it today? I'm ready.
It's very soon. Okay. I will send you details.
Yes.
Because it's not your Casamigos, Terra Hermana. It's not your.
Okay.
They're the local authentic.
That's what I like. I like to keep it local, authentic. Give me a little Don Julio if I'm out, but I really.
Yes.
My coworker is Mexican, and she told me about. It's called Centenario. Yes. So I tried that one. I like it. She's like, this is good. It's smooth. It's low. It's authentic. So,
but if I had to pick one off the top of my head, Clase Azul is good.
Fancy. Yes. Rana is fancy, y'all. Okay. So then that brings us to reposado or blanco.
You know, I don't know the difference.
You don't discriminate. Give it to me. It don't matter. That's how I feel. I really don't care.
Because some people like the dark, some like it light.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just give me a Clase Azul.
And hurry up.
Yes, please.
Okay, boom. What is the most common male name in your family?
Oh.
Because I know how y'all Hispanics do. It's at least 3 of y'all got the same name.
Juan.
Yeah. I assumed
that's my brother's name. Juana.
I was going to make that assumption, but I was like, I don't know. It could be something else.
Oh, come on.
What's your dad's name?
Domingo.
Oh, okay.
Which is not too common. It means Sunday, you know, right? Or you would know. Juan. Okay. Jose.
Okay. Do you have any like Juan middle names? Like
not in our family.
Okay. Do y'all have middle names?
No.
Okay.
We're weird.
No, that's a common thing. That's why I was like, let me ask
because we have two last names. That's what. Yeah. Middle names, not really.
Because you all take the mother's maiden and then the dad's name, right?
Yep.
So for those of you who are always like, why is the name so long? That's why, right? Yes. They're gonna so it ain't no hyphenate like we do.
No.
Because I did it to my baby too. But they're like, literally, that is they want to know they want to know both families. Which family did you come from? Give me the mama's maiden name and the married name. That's attached to everybody.
Yeah.
So give us your full government.
My name, before I got married, because I when I got married, I took their dad's last name.
Mm-hmm. So wait, when you get married, whose name do you get rid of? Because since you got 2 last names, both of them, you get rid of. Okay, and
I did
both of his.
I did just because I didn't want to be dealing with 3-4 different last names.
I feel that.
But before I got married, it was Juana Ramirez Aguirre.
Okay,
that's the full.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's just Juana Ceja.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I don't want to be dealing with. Which I'm glad I did.
Was that like a problem with your family? Like, no, you're supposed to keep the. Was it an issue?
They said stuff. They're like, why? Or keep your Ramirez and hyphenate at. I'm like, I don't want to be dealing with all that.
I feel that.
And it's good because now at school, the girls, their last name matches my last name, and in the like director where you pull up everyone's information, we all have the same last name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, the family was like,
breaking
like,
from tradition just a little bit.
You
and I
don't
know
do
that's
that.
the thing. Like,
Yes.
breaking from tradition has to be probably even more intense.
Yes.
I feel like in the Hispanic and Latino household, like, tradition and family is taken so seriously. And it's such a priority, and I love that. And so, but I can imagine that there has to be such a pressure when you're breaking away from anything that is like.
I mean, we can speak for hours about traditions and what we do, what we don't do, you know. But yeah, that was a big one.
About the last name. That's crazy. Okay, so we went through our questions. I love that. Did I skip one? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna come back to the curse word because everybody always wants to know a good curse. So yeah,
she doesn't know the Spanish one. She won't know it.
Okay, but when you say it in English,
you'll be able to translate it immediately.
Will I know it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes the Mexican slang, I be like, wait. Because I learned in Spain and it's be different. It's hard out here.
Oh no, that's a different Spanish. For sure.
Yes.
But this is a common one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, give it to us.
You ready?
Yes.
Puta madre.
Okay, that is a good one. Now, y'all gonna have to go look at my Spanish of the Day video to see the translation of that, because I'm not gonna get that to you right now with the babies in here. Yes. But we love it and use it. Give it to us one more time.
Puta madre.
Kids, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Parents, you're gonna have to use it though. There you go. All right, Juana, we love that. So, do you want to tell people to follow you and stuff?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll do that real quick. All right, so everybody, I know that you enjoyed talking to Juana. I loved catching up with Juana. We are going to definitely connect. I'm coming to the tequila tasting because, yes. But tell everybody where they can find you and connect with you and support you in any way right through this camera here.
This one here. I only have Instagram right now, so it's Juanita R 1221. I currently work with in a real estate group or with a team, so feel free to
go get you a house.
Exactly. Don't want to get distracted, but it's a lot easier than you think. I own 2 homes now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to pause real quick. We were about to wrap up, but I need to know about this. So you own 2 homes now, so are you now currently a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what was that? Dang, there's so much we're going to talk about. What was that process like? Tell me.
So first I was a DACA recipient.
Okay.
I'm sure you're aware of that. So I was a DACA recipient for many years. Had to renew the work permit every 2 years. Then I got married. So through my husband, I was able to get the process started the right way.
Nice.
And that's,
Okay, well that doesn't seem too crazy, right?
No, and right now anyone I think can get DACA if you got here to a certain age. Or it's
there's a lot more resources.
There's a lot more resources to get informed. Even if you're new to the country, there's options and there's ways to do it the right way.
Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of you. That is such a story to hear. I started off with helping my parents navigate getting me in school to now I own 2 homes. That is amazing. Shout out to you and all the work that you've done create the life that you want.
Just FYI, I'm a single parent of 2 kids.
Wow.
I got 2 homes. If I can do it,
anybody
can do it too. And not just, anything, anything in general. I come from a hardworking family, and I think that also carried over. So anything is possible.
So you already knew you could do it because you saw everybody working hard and you were getting poured into, and you've always been such a good person. And I think good things happen to good people, so you deserve it. I love that for you. I can't wait to hear more about everything that you have going on. You all, I hope that this is giving you a glimpse into my world, a glimpse into my history and my future and all of these things, and you're seeing my world come full. I'm having full circle moments on here with me. So I hope you're having them with me too. Please like and subscribe and share the podcast. There is somebody who needs the information that we talked about today. Yeah. Guaranteed. Don't be stingy. Don't gatekeep.
Feel free to reach out to you, to myself.
Yes, there we go.
Any resources, any information. You can't answer anything, which I'm sure you can. You have more resources than maybe I do. I can help.
But you out in it. You in it. So yeah, we are here to help. Again, you can reach out to me. Leave a comment if you have a question. We're gonna be in the comments and trying to help. If there is a gap that we can bridge for you in this process, we want to help. But ultimately, I want to bridge the gap between people of color. Yes. Right? So we did it naturally without even thinking about it as middle schoolers. And here we are 20 years later, still benefiting from that experience and that exchange that we had. And so I encourage you, if you're a parent, if you're a teacher, open up your kids' world, right? Like find someone that you trust and introduce them to a new culture. My parents didn't think I was going to go in there and want to learn Spanish, but it changed my life because of the people that I was seeing and the culture that I saw, and just my world was just expanded. So I encourage you all to do the same. And you can use Traplingual to do so. Y'all know I'm going to do a little plug. And if you are interested in a foreign language program, please send me an email so that I can give you information on investing in mine coming 2025. Thank you all again. All right. We can't wait to see you on the next It's Chalked Up. Let me know what other topics that you want to hear about, what other parts of my journey that you're interested to know about. Have a great day. We're going to send them off. Que tengas un buen día.
Sí.